everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the stamp set called Oh Hay There from Close to My Heart. And I'm also going to be using a thin cut called Mini Envelope and an embossing folder, and that one is called Wood Panel. And then I'm also going to be using papers from Bloom with Grace, and the pattern I'm using is number 16 from Make It From Your Heart Volume 4. Okay, so let's get started. I have a piece of craft cardstock, and I'm going to be cutting two pieces at my card front size of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'll show you why in just a second. And then I'm going to pull out some of my papers from Bloom with Grace. I'll cut off the zip strip, and I'm going to be using that on my card. So I'm going to use the green papers for piece number, or the piece that's called, it's A, and it's at 5 1/2 by 2 1/4. Then I'm going to take a piece of sangria, and I'm going to cut that one at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and a piece of vanilla, and that's going to be cut at 3 by 3. So I'm just following the pattern from pattern 16 with all the cut dimensions. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece of striped patterned paper, and I'm figuring out which direction I want the stripes to run on my envelope. And then I'm measuring how much I need. I'll cut off a strip of this paper. And I'm going to use that zip strip that is espresso with polka dots. And then I'm also going to use some of this plaid cardstock. So I'm cutting a piece that's about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I've got all of my components for my card, and then I want to cut a small piece of white of vanilla cardstock to go inside my little envelope. So I'm measuring how much I need there. It's a little bit shy of 1 1/4 by 1. Okay, so now let's get everything out of the way, and I'm going to bring my big shot in. So when you're using a new embossing folder, sometimes it cuts quite deep, and so to avoid your cardstock from cracking, if you take two pieces and layer them and put them inside your embossing folder, usually that solves the problem, and then you don't have your cardstock cracking. And then once you use your embossing folder, a half dozen times or so, then it doesn't cut quite so sharp and deep, and then you don't have that problem anymore. So that's why I'm doing two pieces here, and I'll just save one to make another card with later on. And then I'm going to cut my envelope out with the thin cut. So this envelope, when you run it through, it also embosses the fold lines. So it makes it really easy to just fold your envelope together. Okay, so now I'm ready to stamp. So I'm going to flip my Versamat over so I can use the soft side and have some cushion for stamping. And I'm going to do the horse image. So I'm just stamping everything out in black ink, and then I'll be coloring it in with the tri-blend markers. So I'll stamp the horse. And then I have another small piece of vanilla cardstock. I'm going to stamp the sentiment, Oh Hay There. And then the mouth of the horse comes in a separate stamp so that you can make it look like he's holding the envelope in his mouth. And then the inside of the envelope, I'm just taking some of these little hearts. I'm going to stamp some of those, and I'll get all my stamps cleaned up. Okay, so now I'm ready to color everything with my tri-blend markers, and I'm going to do that off camera. And now everything's all colored in. Okay, so I'm gonna fussy cut the nose of the horse out. And there are two separate stamps. You don't have to trim your stamp. That it's you can either do the whole horse and not have the envelope on your card front, or you can make it look like he's holding one. So, and then the stamp set also has like the little paws for the bunny rabbit and the hands for the monkey and so forth. Okay, so I'm gonna glue my envelope together, and I'm being mindful to make sure that it really does glue together like an envelope so that I can slide that little card that I made to go inside it. And I'm gonna glue the nose of the horse to the top of the envelope, and it will make it appear as though he's holding this envelope in his mouth. And it's a little fussy to get the angle right, but in the end, it's, you don't have to be too picky about it. The effect will work. I've fussed around with it quite a lot. This was the first one that I've made using this stamp, but I made it work. So we'll get that on there. So you glue the nose to the top part of the envelope, and then I'm gonna attach the envelope to the front using Tombow tape. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to start building the card. And first I'm going to ink up this wood panel embossed piece using some espresso ink, and I'm just taking my ink pad and lightly brushing it along those embossed parts to just give it more definition and emphasis and just make it look aged. It's kind of a cool effect, and it's super easy, just direct. Okay, let's start building our card, and I'm going to do a landscape top fold card, and then I'll just attach everything with Tombow tape. I'll get that piece of Bloom with Grace. I love the colors in this collection. And I'm going to layer my zip strips. So I'm going to trim them down to 5.5 inches. So I'll put that solid espresso polka dot piece down first, and then I'll glue the plaid one on top of it. Okay, and I'm gonna layer my stamped panel onto the sangria so it has a nice border around it, and then I'll pop that whole piece using foam tape. Pretty simple card. They're fun. Lots of playful images in this stamp set. Okay, and then the last step, I'm going to use the liquid pearls, and I'm just going to fill in each of these hearts. And it does take some time for these to dry, so I made one earlier that's dry, but I just want to show you the process. When you can paint with liquid pearls or just fill in images, or you could actually make drops of pearls. Okay, so this one is dry, and now it's ready to slide into the envelope. So there's my card. So these supplies are currently available, and the URL to my online store is in the upper right corner. I will make a list of all the supplies with links in the description below. I appreciate you watching my video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.